One of the most uplifting aspects of Buddhist practice is cultivating joy and appreciation. In a world that often feels fast-paced and demanding, taking the time to experience genuine joy and gratitude can feel like a luxury. Yet, in Buddhism, joy isn't just an extra, it's an essential part of the path to inner peace and liberation. Cultivating joy, known as Mudita in Pali, and practicing gratitude bring balance to our lives and enrich our spiritual journey. Today we are starting the third theme of this podcast series on the School of Buddha, which is based on meditation and mindfulness. Before we begin, I request you to kindly subscribe to the channel. I am looking forward to continue spreading the wisdom of Buddha, and only your support for this channel can keep me motivated. Now, let's get started. You might be familiar with the idea of compassion, or karuna, which is the wish to relieve others' suffering. Mudita, or sympathetic joy, is its counterpart. It is the joy we feel when we witness others' happiness and success. This practice goes beyond merely feeling happy for ourselves. It's about developing the capacity to celebrate life's goodness wherever we find it, even if it's not directly tied to us. This expansive joy is transformative, softening feelings of envy and competition and connecting us more deeply with others. But joy in Buddhism isn't limited to the practice of mudita. It's also about recognizing and appreciating the present moment. The Buddha taught that true contentment isn't found in grand achievements or perfect circumstances. It's found in noticing the small, often overlooked moments of life. A warm conversation, the sensation of sunlight on your skin, or the simple act of breathing mindfully can be sources of profound joy when approached with awareness. Let's begin by understanding why cultivating joy and appreciation is considered a vital practice. The Buddha recognized that our minds tend to gravitate toward problems, anxieties, and desires. This tendency, rooted in craving and aversion, fuels dissatisfaction and obscures the natural joy present in our lives. When we cultivate joy and gratitude, we counteract this habit and train our minds to see the positive, the beautiful, and the good. In doing so, we shift from a mindset of not enough to one of abundance and appreciation. One of the most effective ways to cultivate joy is through a practice called gratitude meditation. This meditation invites us to focus on the things we're thankful for, which can range from big moments to small, everyday blessings. Let's try a brief gratitude meditation together. If you can, find a comfortable seat, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Bring to mind something or someone you're grateful for. It could be a loved one, a moment of kindness you received, or even the comfort of your home. Allow yourself to feel the warmth of this gratitude, noticing how it changes your breath and the sensations in your body. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes, carrying this feeling of appreciation with you. Regularly practicing gratitude helps us cultivate a baseline of contentment. Studies in positive psychology align with this teaching, showing that people who practice gratitude regularly report higher levels of happiness and lower levels of depression. The Buddha anticipated these findings over 2,500 years ago, teaching that a mind trained to appreciate and take joy in life's moments becomes less susceptible to the grasping and aversion that lead to suffering. Now, let's turn to the practice of sympathetic joy, or mudita. It is the joy that arises when we take pleasure in the happiness of others. At first, this practice might seem straightforward, but it can challenge us, especially when feelings of jealousy or comparison arise. The Buddha understood this and taught that practicing mudita can transform the mind, replacing envy with connection and isolation with unity. Imagine hearing that a friend or colleague has received an opportunity or recognition that you desired. Your first reaction might be disappointment or envy, but with mudita, you pause and consciously wish them happiness. You might say silently to yourself, I am happy for their success. May they enjoy it and find fulfillment. This shift from comparison to shared joy not only uplifts them in your mind, but also expands your capacity for genuine happiness. Over time, this practice becomes more natural and less forced, cultivating a deep well of joy that isn't dependent on your own achievements alone. One story from the Buddhist tradition that illustrates the power of mudita is the tale of Ananda, the Buddha's cousin and devoted attendant. Ananda's joy was not only in serving the Buddha, but also in witnessing the progress and success of fellow monks. When another monk would achieve enlightenment or reach a milestone in their practice, Ananda would celebrate wholeheartedly. His happiness wasn't diminished by the fact that he hadn't yet reached full enlightenment himself. This ability to rejoice in others' progress reflects the highest form of mudita, where joy becomes boundless and unconditional. In our everyday lives, practicing mudita can be both simple and profound. It can mean congratulating a friend on their success, smiling when you see a stranger experiencing joy, or silently wishing happiness to those you see on your commute. It's about breaking down the walls of us and them, and recognizing that happiness, wherever it arises, benefits the world as a whole. Joy in Buddhism also relates to contentment. Contentment is the ability to be at peace with what we have and who we are in the present moment. The Buddha once said, "Contentment is the greatest wealth." In a society that often encourages striving and comparing, this teaching reminds us that true wealth isn't in acquiring more, but in appreciating what already is. Cultivating contentment doesn't mean we stop pursuing growth or dreams. Rather, it means we appreciate our journey and find peace in each step without being fixated solely on the destination. Think of a time when you were working toward a goal. How did you feel during the process? Were there moments when you were so focused on the end result that you missed the joy of the journey? Contentment invites us to balance aspiration with appreciation, reminding us that each moment, even the challenging ones, holds something worth noticing. A practice that supports contentment is mindful savoring. This practice involves taking the time to fully enjoy an experience as it unfolds. For example, when you're eating a meal, instead of rushing through it or thinking about what's next, take a moment to savor each bite, the flavors, textures, and sensations. This mindfulness of the present enriches your experience and nurtures a sense of gratitude for the moment. Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh often spoke about joy as a practice of mindfulness. He said, "Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy." This insight teaches us that joy isn't just a result of external circumstances. It's something we can cultivate through conscious actions. Smiling, even when we don't initially feel joyful, can activate feelings of happiness and remind us of the beauty in simple acts. Let's reflect on how we can bring these practices into daily life. The next time you feel a moment of joy, whether from a conversation, a beautiful view, or a kind gesture, pause and fully experience it. Breathe into that moment, letting it expand without needing it to last. Notice how it feels to experience joy without grasping. Similarly, when you witness someone else's happiness, practice mudita by wishing them well, allowing their joy to enrich your own. Before we close, let's try one more exercise together, a brief practice of mindful appreciation. Take a moment to look around wherever you are. Notice 3 things you appreciate in your environment. It could be the light streaming through a window, the sound of birds outside, or the comfort of your chair. As you focus on each of these, bring your attention fully to them, feeling the gratitude for their presence. This simple act of mindful appreciation shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's present, nurturing a sense of joy and contentment. As we conclude today's episode, remember that joy and gratitude are not distant goals, but practices we can engage with every day. By cultivating these qualities, we enrich our own lives and create a ripple effect that touches those around us. In our next episode, we'll explore the concept of humility and how it strengthens us, helping us live authentically and connect more deeply with others. Until then, may you find joy in the present moment and share that joy freely with the world.